Hello, my friends. It says Instagram is telling you guys that I'm starting a live video. So we will see when some people come in here, if they do. Yay. Hello and welcome, my first friend. I can wave at you. So I'll keep repeating this, but basically I am here to answer questions. I am view request. Send request. You want to be in my live. I'm not sure who you are. Let me see who you are. I'm not sure. Can you tell me more of your intention of wanting to be in the live? No. Okay, then I would have to say no. If you want to be in my live, I would need to know you, and I'm not sure that I do. Hello, Naman. I was just talking about you guys last night. Oh, we had such a beautiful new moon ceremony. Okay, you don't want to be in my life. Okay, I'm not sure who this is, Eisenhower Gallery, but we can talk at a different time, not right now. So I am here. I'm Willow Star. I am very excited because I love making videos and I love talking about health, about healing, about relationships, about healing, about spirituality, about chanting, all the good things. Naman, do you see my Shiva back here? I am getting ready to launch this membership platform, and the idea is that I want to be more connected intimately with my community, and I can have a more kind of free way of being in the membership. And so this is just kind of a start of that, of just doing lives when I feel like it and just answering questions to people directly. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm hearing you. Okay. So Elizabeth, you are 10 years out and you are a stage 4 thriver. That's amazing. Please, do we know each other? I'm not sure, but if you have any questions, let me know. And, I'm here, like I said, just to answer any questions. I've got my friend River Rock here. She is hiding over there and she will be writing down any questions if I can't keep up, which I think I'll be fine, but I can also make videos about them in the future. So as some of you guys may know, I am a decade out from stage 4 cancer, stage 4 cancer diagnosis. And they gave me, they said most people live 2.5 years, and it's been a decade. And I have been tumor free almost this entire time. And I say cancer saved my life. And I know that that could sound a little crazy to some people, but I want to normalize, like, stage 4 cancer to me, it's not really any different than a lot of like chronic illnesses. And to be honest, I have friends that have other things like type 2 diabetes that is way more debilitating on their life. So I feel very grateful to be living the life I am. And a big part of that is how I take care of myself and how I live my life. And so if you follow me, you'll know this is there's not one thing that heals us. It's not like take all these supplements and you'll be just like me. It's not like, do breath work and you're going to be like me. Take Faslodex and you're going to be like me. It's a matter of, it's a whole lifestyle. So everything from me leaving my marriage to stopping sugar, stopping alcohol, getting a therapist, learning about myself, which is something that I really, really, really love talking about, is learning how I am in the world because of the life I've lived up to this point. So whether it's, the parents I had, the schooling I went to, the places I grew up, they've all shaped me to get to this point. And there's a lot of untangling of those things. And so learning about my attachment style, learning about my love languages, learning about my astrology, learning about my human design. These are things that have really, really helped me show up in the world in a different way and understand where I needed to heal. And so, if you follow me, I say healing beyond tumors. And it's like we can have a tumor. I have a tumor in my breast and one in my liver right now. They've been stable for years. I don't give them any real energy, but I'm still say I'm healed because just because I have, hey Deb, good to see you. Just because I have a lump in my body doesn't mean that I'm not healed. And so I am here, like I said, just to answer any questions. I would love just to hear like what's on your mind right now. What are you questioning in life? And whether it's about mindset or breath work, I can happily talk about supplements. But just know that what we find on the internet, to me, it's information that we then have to go deeper into. And let's see. So you guys are both asking to be in my life. I'm going to say yes, and then we'll see if that works. And I'm not really sure. Okay. So first, we're learning together. So I said you could come in. Oh, here we go.
Oh, oh,
Hello.
hi.
Hi. There you
Hi.
are.
It's just a button that came up and it made me think I needed to say yes to it in order to participate. Not that I wanted to be on camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
let's do this. Let's do because yeah, I can see how it's like you're like, oh, I want to be in, but
yeah, I was like,
now you're
yes.
on.
Yeah.
Hello. Well,
Hi.
tell me, so did you are a stage 4 thriver as well?
I am. I am. I was diagnosed
Excellent.
in 2016 and I loved what you said. You just have to do all the things and they keep changing. And, I pick up wheatgrass and I do that for a while and then yeah,
Oh
I'm,
my gosh, my
I
head
can't
is
even.
tingling from what you just said. In the sit, that is literally, thank you for sharing that because I literally, it's like I'm not doing the same thing every day for the past decade. And we were diagnosed both a decade ago.
Yeah.
They told me most people live 2.5 years. And look at us. We're just here alive. You look amazing.
Thank
And
you.
I can say the same that when we find things, it's like this thing is that thing for that season or for that week or
Mm-hmm.
for that month or things like cannabis I've been on since the first week and I've never stopped. That's like we have those things that are this is my protocol and I don't change that. But all the other things from
Mm.
winter to summer, I love that. What is something that's really supporting you right now?
Well, I go through phases, like you mentioned, and it just kind of that's my personality. I've been someone who isn't consistent with anything, and so the idea of healing naturally was a little bit intimidating because I didn't think I had the right personality to be disciplined, and but I think that looking back, it's worked, and I have some brain mets, breast cancer brain mets that are I think this is year 4.5, maybe, and some lung mets, but there were some in my spine, my liver, my lungs, my chest wall was just full. I had my breast
Wow.
removed, and there was like 30 lesions on my chest, and people would say, well, what are you going to do about that? I'm like, I don't know. Can we just finish going swimming and having lunch? And I don't know.
Yes.
I'm sorry you have to look at it. I don't really notice it because my chin doesn't bend enough to see it. And I kind of love that because I can just, and it's not that I wasn't frightened or that I was being ignorant. I just, I didn't feel bad. I was
Yeah.
sleeping. I think my biggest challenge, and you probably relate to this, and I tell people this all the time, they're like, how do you live with it? And I'm like, it's like the cancer guru. Tell me her name.
Bethany.
Yes, it's like the worst part of cancer is just being in your life. It's
You
the
can't not
constant
live it. You
yeah.
can't,
So I
you
think
can't not, you can't. And when people say, how do you do it? You're like, well, if I didn't, I'd be dead.
yeah, how
So
can you
it's
not,
like,
right? Yeah.
yeah, I really resonate with that. And what I heard you say was like, they're like, oh, what are we going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? And you're like, I just want to have some fun. And to be honest, and hello, Will Gill, from Francisco. What I've noticed for myself, especially lately, is the more I get focused on, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. And then your whole day is stacked with these things. And then I'm like, where's my joy? Where's my friends? Where's my fun? Where's my nature? Where's my meditation?
Mhm.
And those things, and that's a hard part for me to really like drill on things like social media because people like tell me exactly what you take. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does not matter what I take,
Hmm.
but it's the concepts of having fun, having community, having I tell people get a radical remission, the book. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
read that, but
Or
like
yeah.
that was the game changer for me. And I
Me
feel
too.
like every human should read that, even if you don't have cancer,
Hmm.
and just know that when you have joy in your life, that is really, it is medicine. So I would love to, what is your name?
Elizabeth.
Oops, sorry, it just
Oh.
is I don't know. Say again.
My name's Elizabeth. Elizabeth Eisenhower.
Elizabeth. Okay.
Yeah.
And I
And I,
would love if ask me a question and then I can answer and then I'm gonna get you off and I'm gonna check
okay.
in with my other gal.
Um, hmm, gosh.
It could be about anything. It doesn't have
Okay.
to be about cancer. It could be just
Um,
like
well,
anything.
I just remember last time I saw you on, you you touched me so deeply because you were so raw and you were so frustrated and sad and all the things. And it's like I don't I know a lot of people. I have a big community, but I just wanted to wrap my hands around you that day because I was like, shit, it's so hard when you think you're doing everything you can do. And there's sometimes I don't do everything I can do. Sometimes I'm really sloppy. But when you get the news and you get the progression and the scan comes back, it's like whammo. And it just goes this deep, dark dive down and like, okay, get your life in order. There's so many times I've gotten my life in order. And, my granddaughter said to me, I went to them and I said, um, I'm so sorry that Nana's been so full of tears, and I'm always saying, let's do this. It might be the last time. Let's jump off the bridge in Martha's Vineyard.
Mhm.
Let's go
Mhm.
naked horseback riding because I can today. And,
Yeah.
and so I went to them and I said,
Naked
this
horseback riding. I love that. Yes.
so,
I'm
I'm like,
coming to see you.
well, I saw these outrageous things because, here we are. Maybe we have 6 months where we're still like physically able. I don't feel that way right now, but I have felt that way many times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the point I want to say to you is that it's not really a question, but I think it'll touch people's hearts. Is my granddaughter said to me, Nana, are you apologizing for not dying? And I'm like, I think I am because so many times I sit my family down and I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I'm not doing the chemo anymore. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not sticking any more wheatgrass and coffee up my ass. I'm not doing any more supplements. I'm not meditating anymore. I'm not being one with nature. I'm just going to be. I'm going to stop scrambling to be well. I'm just going to
yes.
be. And I think in that moment when I saw you, I just could relate to this journey has developed me into someone that I am fucking in love with. But wow. Wow. I
You
mean, I was
are making
Adderall for
me.
breakfast. I was Adderall for breakfast and Chardonnay for dinner, and now I'm sitting with 6 ounces of wheatgrass up my ass that I could actually vacuum if I needed to. But I love who I have become, and I loved seeing you smile today, and that you came out of a dark place. And just remember that, ladies. Just remember that it can look really bad and it's going to change again, and it can
Yeah.
look really good and it's going to change again. So
Yeah.
just like they say, live in the present moment.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with you. I will just
Thank you.
say that right now. Like, thank you for coming here. And I feel like I know the video that you were talking about, and it's kind of an older video. It was like probably a year ago, I think,
Yeah,
where I
so
was talking about progression. And it's funny because it's just been this like stable. When I made that video,
mm.
and then I went to my doctor. She's like, "You're fine." She's like, "It's not even progression." And I'm like, "What?" I literally just went on the internet like so vulnerable that
Oh my God.
I've never had progression. And so she's
Oh my
like, "Oh,
God.
it's just been this slow growing thing." And I cuz I think I saw a comment recently on that. But I just want to say like thank you. I want to be stay in touch with you and I would love to do an interview with you. Um
Mm,
but exactly what you said, living our life is medicine. And we have to remember laughter is medicine. Right now, this connection is
medicine.
this is healing cancer.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just had, yes, I just had, a saffron rose smoothie that's good for my nervous system and good for depression and all these different things. She brought me tissue. Thank you. I always am laughing and crying. Like
Mm,
I am not afraid, feeling our feelings. And
yeah.
I just, and I think for people like us, people see us and they don't know we have stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
We're not bald. We don't look like we have cancer, and that can be good and it can be bad.
Yeah.
It can be hard because people don't understand, and you're like, you have no idea what it takes for me to get out the door in the morning or for
Mm.
me to go to India for 3 weeks. Like my bag is packed with things to keep me alive, But then I shared this in a video recently. I spent 3 weeks in India. I ate every single thing. I didn't ever ask what seed oil is this a seed oil product? Is this organic? I didn't ask one question and I ate everything that they, had. We're drinking, I'm eating milk. I'm, eating a lot of sugar, a lot of desserts and just having, but my labs were the best that they've been in the past 5 years. My two
Mm.
best labs have been after 2 weeks at Burning Man and after 3 weeks in India. Both of them, I was eating pork in on the playa. I don't eat pork at all. And I eat pork like 5 times on playa. I'm eating anything that was offered to me, but things were made with love. People were trying to care for me. They wanted me to gain weight because I came so skinny. In India, I was in devotion, devotion, devotion. It was stressful. It was exhausting. I was traveling with my daughter. Burning Man. I worked so my ass off. And my labs, my white blood count was the highest it had been in 5 years.
Mm. Mm.
And those two things, that just it solidifies what I believe medicine can be.
Mhm. Mm.
And medicine is being in community, being in our joy, naked horse riding. Where do you live?
I live in the Bahamas, the Abacos in the whatever it is now, winter. It doesn't feel like
Okay.
winter here. And then I live on
Okay.
Martha's Vineyard in the summer. And I
Okay.
am I'm trying to figure out what's next because I I kind of can do whatever I want. And I just can't even believe I'm saying that because I was
Come
like
to Mount
raised on
Shasta.
I
Come.
was raised on food stamps and I have this really delicious life and I made it myself and it's just kind of crazy. But I want to be mindful of what you said
Thank
about Mount
you.
Shasta. Okay,
Yes.
right, Mount
Y-
Shasta. But I did think of a
yes.
good question for your community. What blood markers? I think that's a great kind of basic question for people. What blood markers do you follow? I follow 15-3 CEA, A1C, my D3, my homocysteine. Um, 15-3 CEA. Yeah, those are what I watch. And my CEA and my 15-3 track so closely with my scans that I can kind of
Uh,
push the scans off. And I have a doctor that's
mm,
like, she's like, your blood work looks great. Let's skip the scans. And so I've,
great.
yeah. And that's not
I
always everyone,
love that. I
but
love
there's,
that.
yeah.
It's not for everybody, and everybody doesn't have those kind of tumor markers. And
Hmm.
It's I did not have tumor markers that they were able to really track well in the beginning, but we are now, and I would say similar, that they've just been hovering. They're low, but they're oh, like one. I follow the CEA and this is also another thing. I'm kind of like, I look and I'm like, seems good to me, and my doctor, she has me, I follow, I'm always checking my white blood count and just making sure that it's in a good place. Um, and I watch my liver, I watch my, it's funny because I can't even pronounce the things that they are, but I'll check my liver numbers and I'll check my glucose. That's generally pretty high because I eat a lot of fruit. And that's something like people will say, oh, don't have any sugar, not even fruit. And that's where I'm like, maybe that's yours, but not for, I've eaten fruit my whole time.
Hmm.
And so that's where I think we do have to just watch it. But my doctor also, I'm on my fourth oncologist, and she says, she's never like, I'll be like, oh, what about this number? And she also taught me this thing, like we often look at my chart and it's on our phone screen, and so your labs for like 6 months are like this close apart. So even if like one thing is like up one number, it looks so high. And so I had this whole like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I was like, it's so high. And she's like, it's literally 1 point different. And
Yeah.
she had me turn it sideways and it spreads it out and it looks like they're almost exact. And so it's like these kind of things that we have to remind ourselves, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I am totally with you on this. And
Mm.
I would love to stay in touch. And it feels like, yeah, we could have some adventure together for
I
sure. I'm
would love
getting my
that.
van back on the road.
Where's Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta is in California. We are
Okay.
on, uh, I'm an hour from the Oregon border, about an
Uh-huh.
hour and 10 minutes from Ashland. And Mount Shasta, she is, it's funny. I can actually, let me see if I can show you guys Mount Shasta from here. That is Mama
Mm.
Shasta,
Wow.
and she's hiding behind,
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
but she is a very magical mountain that, people come from all over the world to be with her energy. She calls people, so people will not know what Mount Shasta is, and they'll just be like, I had a dream or I heard this name. But it's a very, very special spiritual place, and we're just surrounded by so many beautiful mountain ranges, and there's lots of like galactic energies here. People say that there's a city inside of the mountain called Telos, and there's Lemurians. It's a whole rabbit hole that you can open up, and yeah. But
You.
thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on, and thank you for
Yeah.
accidentally saying hello
Yeah.
and wanting to come on here. I look forward to connecting
Mm.
more. But
Me too.
you are doing what I say is like how to heal, and being hungry for healing is now I this came through the other day. I'm like, people that are hungry to heal beyond just that physical body. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I will look
Thank you
forward to
so
being in
much.
touch with you, my dear, and we'll
All right.
talk soon. I have no idea for how you can leave, but
I don't either, but I'll work on it. I'll work on
you'll work
it.
on it.
I'm going to ask Mount Shasta, how do I get out of the call? All right. Thank you so much,
Great. Okay,
Willow. Be
turn
well.
off request. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea how we do this. All right, but we just found Jaziel. Hello, friends. We're figuring this all out. Jaziel, you would know how to get somebody to be able to. There we go. She did it. And Jaziel, if you want to say hello, you are more than welcome. I love you. Look at me doing a live, and you just happen to be scrolling on the internet. Yeah, just answering questions about healing, about life, about relationships, about anything that we want to hear. All right, so let's see. We view these requests. Let me see how I do this. Jaziel, are you trying to come on or no? Go live. I think I can get you on here. We're figuring this out. But if you guys want to leave in the comments any questions, there you
Look at you. Look at you rocking live on Instagram.
go. The
Hi,
queen. The queen.
Aw, love you. You look beautiful, by the
Oh,
way.
thank
Absolutely
you.
beautiful. I love blue on you. That is a gorgeous color on you.
Thank you. I love that you're here. And if you guys don't know Jaziel, she has just opened up my world in so many ways to understanding healing and
Mhm.
understanding how we have to get outside the box and
Hi,
that
Lynn.
our healing journey is our own. And there's things like parasites and heavy metals and things that we have to navigate. Yeah, what's alive for you today?
There
What's
is,
alive?
you're right. There's a lot to it, and we don't all heal the same. And that's, working with hundreds now over the last 3 years, our healing looks different. And I wish it was a one size fits all. It would make things so much easier. But we all have different toxicity levels, and then we all have different blood types, and so the healing is different. And yeah, so I just
Wait,
more than
I love what you just said, that we all have different toxicity levels. That
Mhm.
is not something that I've actually been speaking to, and it's been coming up a lot lately. When somebody says, my grandma, ate meat every day and drank, and she lived to be 100. What I'm recognizing is somebody can have, like you'd be like, oh, that person, how did they get cancer? But you don't know if their whole life they lived where they were being around mold, or that they were
Exactly.
drinking, fluoridated water, like all these different things.
Exactly.
And so that one little life event, that one thing sparks those things. So
Yep.
I really love that you just said that we're all very different in our bodies and what makes sense. So like for me, that's where intuition comes in, right?
For
You
all of
gotta,
us, we have to tune in. We have to, and the cleaner we get, the sharper that gets. Look who's in here, Tara.
I know,
Tara
I just saw
Coyote.
Tara
Good to
and I just
see you
saw
too.
Whitney. Oh, so good to
Wow.
see you, friends. Yeah, well,
Yes.
and yeah, somebody just said grandma didn't get all the shots. And that's very true that we have things, different things in our like when our grandparents were alive, there weren't all these fake colors and flavors and Teflon, and they were eating out of, hello Tara. Oh my gosh, all my friends.
Microwaves. Microwaves. They didn't have those back then.
Yeah. And like Deb said, yeah, they weren't putting steroids and antibiotics in our meat. And so while, yes, our grandparents lived a different life and maybe didn't get cancer, we are in a different world now. And I think you were talking about this on one of your last lives, that we cannot get away. Like I woke up this morning, I look at the mountain, nonstop chemtrails. I
Oh,
used to not believe in
ridiculous.
them. Now you can't, like, to me, once you see them, you can't stop. The aluminum levels that they are testing here in Mount Shasta are through the roof. That
Yep.
is not normal. That is
Yep.
coming from these things. So we can't get away from it. I live in nature and I'm still being exposed. So
Yep.
it's the detoxing, right? We've got to, like, it's just to me, that's probably the number one thing in healing right now is detoxing.
It really
And I
is.
know
It
you know a
has to
thing
be.
about a
Yeah.
thing or two about that.
Yeah, it really is. And it starts with the colon. I'm actually reading a really good book right now this weekend, and it's all about the colon and how that's where disease begins. And it's where we need to begin when we're
Yeah.
detoxing and then go from there. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a lot of work. It's sad that we have to have these discussions every day.
Exactly. And what you just said about the colon, that is the number one fastest growing cancer right now for
Yeah,
people under 50.
yeah.
And with the microplastics in the cups from, the coffee shops, and, getting a cooked chicken that's not organic in a plastic tray that we're so accompanied, that it's like, oh, it's easy. I can make this thing. But I believe a lot of that gets stuck in the colon, like you said. And so that detoxing, and I know Tara's on here. She's Soul just mentioned, have you tried coffee enemas? I was literally just
Oh
going to
yeah, we're
say,
big on that.
we just,
We're even doing urine enemas now. Yeah,
that's a whole
we'll have
new,
to talk
wow.
about that. Yeah, we'll have to talk
Yeah.
about that.
But Tara Coyote, who's on this call right now, and maybe I can bring her on in a second if she feels like
Yes.
it. But she is somebody who is followed, she was sent to hospice, mets throughout most of her body except for her brain. And she, yeah, she was sent to hospice and she's made this miraculous, recovery. And she went into the hospital. She did some chemo. She's on a few Western meds, but she's very dedicated to her joy, to
Yes.
being to being a mermaid. And she does coffee enemas every single day. And she wrote her book while she was sitting with her coffee enemas. And it's also, oh, hello, Tara. We're just talking about you.
Yes, and both of these are, she's talking about Tara and Willow are both can cure warriors, by the way. I call it can cure now,
Oh,
but
Can Cure. I love that.
can cure warriors, and some of my community is on here, so that's why I thought I'd just put that
Yay.
out there.
Oh,
And that's how I met both of them too on TikTok.
yeah.
And it's so encouraging, both of you guys. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to know you both. So I'll let
Oh,
Tara get
well,
on, and I'm
well,
going to
thank you.
co-op.
She said it's too early for her, but all is good. And
Oh,
I'm
really? Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
happy to answer
Hi,
any
Danae.
questions. Yeah, you can put any questions in the chat and then I can read those off here. And I'm getting ready. I was sharing that I've started a membership program, and I know you get this, Jaziel, the amount of censoring that happens here. And yeah, we're good, Tara. No pressure. You're all good. You get to
Okay.
just mermaid around and listen if you feel like it.
Yep.
Um, but the limitations that I feel on social media can be really challenging because we're talking about outside the box things. Now they're getting more normalized, like, from beginning to now. And so this speaker is Jaziel, Created to Heal. So you can find her. I'll pop it in these comments later. Thank you. And coffee and so just talking about coffee enema. Jaziel, she has so much information, and what I love is if you can go to her link tree, she has so many different protocols for parasites and detoxes, and she's gotten she's got so much information. But again, one parasite cleanse isn't for you. And okay, somebody says, are you trying to find out about me? I'm Willow Star.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Some of these are my community because it shows up
Okay,
on
yeah.
live
So
with you
I
on my
am
page.
Meet. Okay, yes, Jaziel changed my life. Okay, yes, I am Willow Star, and you can find me on all the social medias, either Meet Willow Star or Willow Star. I am a decade out from stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and I have been healing in an outside the box way. I've used cannabis since the first week in a really high dose, which has really changed my life. It was my nemesis, and now it's been my savior, and I make it and I share it with others. It's one of the things that they put me through menopause in 2 weeks. So estrogen driven cancer, they're like, we need to shut off your hormones. They put me into, menopause, and then I had it for 2 weeks and then nothing. I've never had one issue with any menopause symptoms in a decade. And people love you, Tara. And CBD, the more I start researching about it, it balances, it brings our hormones into balance. So I haven't had weight gain. I don't have night sweats. I don't have insomnia. My focus is getting better. I've been working with the nicotine patches, which you were one of the people that was my synchronistic reminder that that was a thing.
Yep.
Um,
I need some of the
but
CBD. I'd love some more CBD. Next time you come out, let me know and
I
I'll
will
get some from
I
you.
will
I
bring
have
you
tried it.
some.
I've tried it and I love it. It's very nutty, flavored, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful product.
very earthy. And this is the
Hmm.
thing, like CBD has become this thing. People know it, people enjoy it. But when you're getting it at a dispensary, nowadays it's not made the same because now there's these rules that because it's in a dispensary, it's this or that. And they're taking when a little tip when you are looking for cannabis products, especially, in a dispensary. If it says isolates and distillates, know that they've taken the part of plant. They've taken the plant apart and they're taking parts of it and you're not getting the whole plant. So you can text me, message me in a message about where to get the CBD and I can share that from you. These are
Yeah.
things that the internet doesn't love me to talk about. So we'll keep it on the down low. But when you're looking for it, you want it outdoor grown, sun. Like for me, it's like having the energy of the sun in this plant.
Yes. Yes.
When you are in Walgreens and they have CBD on the counter, that is not it. And it's not the real medicine. And it's true. We we have these endocannabinoid systems and they need the cannabis to help balance them out. And it's not something that we get in our daily life now, but we used to. Housewives always worked with cannabis in their houses for all sorts of things. It can help a tummy when you're not feeling well. If you're doing chemo and a great way to balance your hormones it's very balancing. It's a very smart plant and she's feminine. So to me, yeah, working within that. Um, as far as this question from Soul being about coffee enemas, so there is Tara Coyote, I know, has a lot of information on her page about it. She's made a lot of videos. If you Google, there's so much information about it. And it's like with everything, find what's right for you. What I know about the coffee enemas, it's basically going in and shaking out and dropping out all of your toxins. And we build them up so quickly. So some people do them daily. That's not for me. I am never going to, I don't think I'll ever be a daily one because I have other practices that I feel for me are more important and the time it takes. I do sauna. So I'm like, okay, but
Hmm.
you could do it once a week. You could do it every couple days. They do them with herbs in them. They do them with just water. They do them with coffee. And so there are so many different recipes and exactly Tara's sharing here that it helps to detoxify the
The
liver.
liver.
And so you basically like you'll get it in there, you'll hold it for a little bit. Tara taught me, let it go, like bring it all in, let it go, and then you bring it in and then you hold them for these 5 to 15 minutes. I've done it sitting in the bathtub. But I've had also colonics if you don't want to do it yourself. But I'll tell you, it is not as gross as you would think it is. Like this idea of doing a coffee enema, it seems like everything's going to be gross and weird. It's really not that crazy. They have kits. Thank you, Tara, for loving my CBD. They have kits to do the enemas and stuff. And so it's something I do really recommend. Look into it, research. And when I talk about intuition, this is where, like with Jaziel, I have been hearing about nicotine for cancer healing, for tumor shrinking. I also was hearing about nicotine for focus and ADHD. Then I tune in, and my dear friend who's super smart, Rachel Hope, she's on TikTok and she makes a lot of videos about the EMFs. And she was saying she was using these nicotine patches for the EMFs. Well, then I ask her, well, what brand are you using? She tells me she did all this research. So I trust her. I buy that brand. I come and see Jaziel. I'm like, hey, you use, like, you've talked about nicotine, right? And you're like, yeah, you showed me this brand. It's the same company she told me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. This is intuition saying that's a go. And
That's right.
so it's like, this is how we need to really tune in. So when you're listening to something I say, or you go on Jaziel's, it's like maybe we say something that sparks something else for you, but
That's
it
right.
doesn't need, oh, Rebecca, hello.
That's
But
right.
we have to find our own path. And like you said, we have different blood types. We have different places we live. And that's where when people
Right.
say, I tried that thing and it didn't work for me, or my chemo, my doctor wants me to change it again. It is so crazy to me because I'm like, you've only been on that 2 months. Do you have mold in your house? Or did you have a massive overgrowth of parasites or candida? You know? Oh
Right.
yeah, you guys are doing
So that's
the,
amazing. And that happened to Renee, who's in this live, also naturally made from heaven. Oh, actually, it was the electricity, but I think the nicotine helped her in those ways also with the ringing in the ears. That's a really
yes.
common one that's treated with the nicotine. It's obviously something our body needed.
And that's when you go back, because what had happened is I started smoking a little bit of this special tobacco from Amsterdam that my daughter got, and it's like super high vibe. She's rolling these little tiny little cigarettes with this organic paper, and I just felt this like I need that. And I'm like, I'm
Uh,
not a smoker. Smoking is not good for you. But I've ended up having one of my friends who's also on here, Ella, she sent me a podcast about a young guy who's been deep in the nicotine research. And he just had it was way too heady for me, but it was like, the basically the overarching thing is nicotine is actually helpful for our bodies in the right ways, and there's ways that you can ingest it in good ways for you.
well, it's
So
anti-parasitic, and a lot of people don't realize that, but it is. And much of nature is, the bitter herbs are anti-parasitic, and they
yeah,
also have the nutrients that our body needs. It's what God created for our bodies, anything out in nature, and
exactly.
we've disconnected from it. But the nicotine, there's argument on whether or not we have receptors, and regardless, God created it in nature for our nutrient and our
that's
medicinal.
That's what I feel. It's like if this was a plant that was made here, and I'm curious about naturally made from heaven, when you say that you're taking the nicotine and it was helping with joint pain, giving you energy, it helps me with the focus. I'm curious, how much do you take? How much are you finding? Because these patches I've been doing only 3.5 milligrams, and
Yep.
it seems like enough, but I'm like, I don't know. Uh, Again, it's an intuitive thing.
That's
I'm
all I need. I
curious.
think she uses 7 milligrams. I think most people do, but
Yeah,
I'm really, really sensitive to caffeine and nicotine, and so I do have to.
same,
And I've tried
same.
up to 7, and I get jittery.
Okay. And that's why I was like, I'm good with this. And it really does help me focus. And Linda, we are the teachers in this new world. And it feels,
Mhm.
and my sister's here, who also just moved to shout out to my sister who just got to spend the night in her house, her and her husband moved 5 minutes away from me. It's like
Really?
things are really happening. Yeah. And we've been on
Wow.
family healing is also important, like looking at your lineage and
Yes.
these different things. Okay, you did muscle testing with 21, and this is where, like, again, I can't just say everybody put on a nicotine patch for 21 milligrams. That is just not the way we
Yes.
heal. We all have to listen. So please know that when you see things online, and like, be really discerning about who you're listening to and where is their information coming from, and are they affiliated with these companies. And not that
Yep.
affiliations are bad, because both of us are affiliated, but like, check it out, just understand, because just like a doctor who's putting you on chemo, what kind of kickback are they getting from this? We want to know. And I hear that with let's see, it's documented as a crop for Native Americans, feels like, yeah. And that's,
Hi,
Mark,
Mark.
I feel that is so true. And that's what I felt like. We've been practicing in the Native American ways. We sit in teepee meetings and sweat lodges, and we've been praying in that way. And they use tobacco for a lot of the ceremony, we're using it as offerings. We're also using it as prayer smokes. And they have everybody, and you don't have to like hold it in and everything, but it does have purpose. And I have no doubt, like the feeling, think about the nicotine. People smoke. What does it often cause you to have to do? Like the coffee enema, poop.
So true.
So it's like you
And
smoke
it's
a cigarette.
anti-parasitic, so that makes sense, right? Oh my gosh.
Exactly. So
Open it
when you
out.
start clicking these things together and you're like, oh, when I like people will say, I need to smoke to have a bowel movement. I need to
Oh
have
yeah.
coffee to have a bowel movement.
Yeah,
That is detoxifying your liver. So
that's
it's
right.
when you start looking
Amazing.
at these things, it's very interesting,
Yeah.
and like my connection to cannabis, I had such a negative connection to it because of the propaganda around it, reefer madness, and it would make me really paranoid, and I just never liked it. But when I started actually researching and understanding it as a plant and as a medicine and seeing the research, our government has a patent on CBD and
That's
THC. But
that's right. That's right. Exactly.
tell me, make that make sense of why it is just, they just stopped it from being a schedule. It has been a Schedule One drug for like, I don't even know, like 60 years or something, meaning no medicinal value and highly addictive.
Yes, yes.
Any,
This is the rule, you guys. If someone's steering you towards nature, go that way. If someone's steering you towards big pharma, run. Maureen says that they're saying bad things about nicotine. It's nature.
mm,
If they're saying bad things about it, then they don't want you connected to what we were actually what was created for us, our good.
exact,
You may
exactly.
need it, you may not need it at that
Yeah.
time. Some people need it, others don't. But if it was benefiting you, then yeah, you always want to go towards nature.
Yeah. Love you, Tara. And that's the thing, like with
Right,
with
Tara?
nature. And with nature, I think the hard thing about nature is that we have to understand it is not necessarily, sometimes it can, but net it isn't like when you do homeopathy. If you've ever taken a homeopathy medicine to help you get like through a cold or something, you have to take it like every hour.
Right,
It's not like a pharmaceutical where you're like, I'm going to take this one thing and it's going to mask every symptom within 20 minutes, and I'm going to, but it's like you're not healing. And
right.
so when we're learning how to work with nature, we have to understand that there are thresholds that we're going to need to figure out. We have to understand that nature is complicated and simple all at the same time. Like the way that different plants work together, we have to do our own research when it comes to plants, and knowing that we have to also give them time to
Yes.
work. And that's where I feel sad, where people are like, I tried this thing one time, and I'm like I drink cacao. Cacao is now trendy and it's this chocolate drink, but cacao helps regenerate stem cells. It helps with our blood. It is high in
It's
potassium and
antioxidant,
magnesium.
high antioxidants.
It's a superfood, but it
Yeah,
also helps healing grief. It also helps calm and ground our nervous system. And this is something that I love also about these plant medicines. Like,
true.
this is cacao. If you haven't seen it, this is how it comes in its real form, not in a bag, in a powder. That is not the same medicine as what you get from, the indigenous people that have been working with these medicines. This is made in a special way that the whole plant is in here.
Yep.
This is everything. It's the fats. But when you buy a powder like at Whole Foods or something, and it's organic and they say it's fair trade and all that stuff, they've generally pulled out the fats. They've sold that to the makeup to the makeup companies for cosmetics, and then you'll have this powder. And while it tastes good and maybe there's some medicine, I don't know, it's not going to be the whole plant. So you're not getting those benefits. So I always just tell people, like, look for your sources.
Yeah.
Also, remember supporting the indigenous people, that this is the, I get this from the Mayan Women's Collective, you know, and this, yes, it is absolutely, they say it can prevent blood clots, Linda's asking. Um, I, t- if I have, if I was vaccinated, I would absolutely drink this every day. I drink it every day and I'm not vaccinated, and
I
that's also a good thing.
want some of that. Can you bring me some of that too? She knows
This,
what I was using, so I bought that from you.
yeah, this
And
is,
she
so
was
I,
at my house and she saw what I'm currently using. She's like, "Oh no, 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 we need to get you."
I will bring you some. Thank you for the reminder. But it does say it can open up. It's a heart medicine, physically and emotionally. It
Yeah,
is physically good for preventing blood clots, and lowering blood pressure also is something that it's very good for. When I get my labs done, you guys, when I go to the hospital every month, and that's when I get to see Jaziel, and they do my blood pressure. It's hilarious because they're like, do you feel okay? And I'm like, yeah, because my blood pressure is so low because I drink cacao
oh
every
my god,
day,
same way.
and I take CBD, and both of them calm your nervous system. So I
Yes,
have energy because
yeah,
I'm drinking cacao. It gives me energy, but it calms my nervous system.
yeah.
So it's just like, they look, yeah, they don't even know what to do with me when I go in there. But it's and the Mark was just talking about the cacao, the raw cacao fruits. If you live in a tropical area, it grows in like Hawaii, it grows in Guatemala, like in South America, it grows very wildly there. But yes, everybody, you can please DM me for any questions about any of this. And my son has come on here. That's so cute.
Aw,
Um,
aw.
yeah, I'm really excited because I'm starting this membership platform where I will be coming in and doing lives. I say I'm going to do them once a month. I will probably do them weekly. Like, to be honest, I
That sounds
love
fun.
connecting and chatting with the community in this way, because
Yes.
I know from your lives, like these, like I can sit here and just talk all day long.
Oh
But
my
when we're
gosh.
talking with
Read the
other
question.
people, my son, what's the best part of being my mom? Wait, what, phrase that? What's the best part? What's the best part about my son is one of my greatest teachers. Not gonna lie, have we have a lot of conflict in our astrology charts. And what I was talking before many of you were in here was how learning about ourselves in our healing journey, and I know you know this, Jaziel, when you've been in a marriage that didn't suit you, when you've been a people pleaser, when you have spent your life having an identity of being what other people need you to be,
Yeah,
and then you figure out who you are. So
yeah,
my son, wow, I did not parent him the way he really could have used parenting. And while I also wasn't parented in that way, so we get to learn. But I love that my son is he's very in these outside the box ways of thinking. He was a very early adapter on bringing me to Mount Shasta and saying, "Mom, it's normal up here. Nobody's wearing a mask. We're just being normal up here." And the first time I came up here during COVID, I had a cup and I put cacao in it, and I was sharing it with like 30 people on the mountain. That my son was like, "These are all my friends, they're travelers." And I'm like, "Do you want cacao?" And we only had one cup. And everybody is using this one cup. I've never had COVID. It
yeah.
was all amazing. But he was like, "Mom, it's gonna be fine." So he is right now in
Wow. Oh,
he's right
good.
now in Chicago delivering a guitar. He is so creative. He made a guitar and he's delivering it to his friend.
Wow.
So okay.
Wow. Love it.
So yes, the
Love it.
cacao is very good for our heart. And somebody's asking about ceremonial. So this is ceremonial cacao. That means that these are made by Mayan women in Lake Atitlan. This specific one, I have 3 different cacaos that I carry and share. This is the one I've worked with the longest. But what this means by ceremonial is it means that these women, at every step of making this cacao, and from the people who tend the trees to the people who are harvesting to this women's collective who is fermenting them and roasting them and being with them, they are praying for it the whole
Nice.
time. Their prayers, and these are like, it makes me want to cry. Just like you can feel their love. This
Wow.
cacao, when Tara Coyote, when her parents both
Beautiful.
passed away within 4 months of each other, and I sent her some cacao for her grief. And it was funny because people with the plant medicines, she said, I'm like, it's really good for grief. It's good for your physical heart and your emotional heart. And I think it's hard for us, it's easy for us to feel like, oh, that gave me energy.
Yeah.
But she said, it's so weird. It's it's it feels like it's really bringing healing to my heart. Like I'm feeling, and I'm like, yeah, they're praying for that. They're like putting their love. And this is
That's
where
beautiful.
I used to think it was total bullshit. I got these cat drops and it was like infused with love for this special spring water and we prayed for it. I was like, if this makes my cat stop chasing my other cat, great. But I did not believe in
Yeah.
it. Now this is me when I'm making my CBD and I'm like, for all of the people that take this medicine, this medicine heal them in whatever needs to be healed. I
Can
pray
you
over
imagine if we
everything.
everything we bought was like that, had an intention prayed over it? That's beautiful. Like that just I love it.
This is, and somebody just said, this is what we need to be doing. And so when I was just in India for 3 weeks, we were on a retreat and one of our group leaders, he said, oh, it feels really important because we would come in and just start eating. And he said, it feels really important if we could all just come together. Can we hold hands and can we stand around? And he taught us an Indian mantra prayer for the food. And we did that every day for 3 weeks as a group. I never had one stomach issue. I didn't get sick. And we came home and now I do this prayer before I eat and it connects me to these people. It connects me to India. So it's like prayer, however you pray, who I don't
Yeah,
pray in the way that works for you. And I know you
that's right.
also know about that.
Oh,
Oh, thank you,
absolutely.
Linda. I appreciate you
That's
being here.
right. I'm gonna get
Um,
going. I'm gonna get going
yes.
because I'm going to the co-op to get my pressed juice. I've been going every day. I joined. I'm like there every day now. It's
Oh,
like my place, the Ashland
I'm going to
Co-op.
be up there tomorrow. I'll come by and see you tomorrow. I
Oh, I love
forgot
it.
I have an event tomorrow. Thank
I
you
love
for
it.
coming on, Jaziel.
Well,
I
you
love you
bet.
so
I
much.
love you. Yep, and thank you to all the community who are here too. I'll see
Full
you guys
circle
tonight
moment. Full circle
for
moment. The
sure.
first the first time I saw you and I'm like, who is this woman? And then you invited me on your live and I'm like,
On
what?
TikTok. On
What?
TikTok.
And then you came up here and then now you're like my
And now we
neighbor.
hang out. I know, it's amazing. I love you.
Yay, I
Have
love you
fun.
too.
Have fun with all that you're doing for humanity.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate you and your story and your
Thank you.
experience. So yeah,
Thank
and we
you.
do have someone in this group that does have can cure, so they could be encouraged by you, and
Oh, good.
that's Greg Fryer. So hi, Greg and Dee. Much love to
Yeah,
you guys.
please
I will
come
be
and
live
visit.
tonight. She is a
Yeah,
can cure thriver. So yeah. All right.
excellent.
Mwah, mwah.
I love you, my dear.
Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, this is, I don't know how to let you go. So here we go. And hello, Shelley. Welcome. I'm just, Yeah, so some things to know about me. If you don't know me, I'm Willow Star and I live up in Mount Shasta. I come from San Francisco Bay Area my whole life. And I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer a decade ago. And I uh, basically wanted to die before I got diagnosed. And then when they told me I was probably going to live 2.5 years, I was like, I actually don't want to die. I want a different life. And so over this past decade, I've just become a completely different person. And I know my lived experience. That's all I can talk about, but I know that we can heal. And I'm not special in why I'm living. I'm living because I've very much dedicated my life to healing all parts of me. And so that was leaving my marriage. That was stopping sugar. That was stopping alcohol. That was learning about myself. That was healing my relationship with my family, my mother, navigating my childhood traumas. And then learning how to treat my body as the magical miracle vessel that it is. So some of the things that I do is I bring people to Mount Shasta. So if you want to dive deeper into healing, into spirituality, into emotional healing, into relationships, into food, into juicing, into nature, like into ceremony, in I that's what I'm here for. And it's like I have spent a decade healing, learning from different people. And yes, I have done a parasite cleanse. I've done several of them. And what is a can cure thriver? So Jaziel is using the word can cure instead of cancer. And so I really love the play on words. I'm very into that. And so I'm a cancer thriver, but she's calling it. And let's see, Rebea is a client of mine who's written an amazing, so many amazing books. Let me see. I will say, Willow, if I didn't know you, I would think you're one of those weirdos. Now you're a weirdo too, Rebea. But I work with clients one on one. One of them is here, and she came to me. They gave her a cancer diagnosis, and then 2 weeks later, they said, "Oh, you really don't have cancer. You just have endometriosis." But it started her healing journey, and this is what I believe. We all have something that kind of catalysts us into healing, and usually it's what we need. And we've just either not been listening or we're too numbed out, and I was one of those people who I was just numb. I was just going through the motions of life. And now I am in a place of deeply being connected to something bigger than me. And if you work with me, you'll know, like, we are part of the stars. We are part of the universe. Like, understanding what's happening with the sun and the moon, like, it can really help your life. It's there's so much out there for us that before I just didn't even see or feel. And now, with this client, with my client Rebea, like, we've been talking so much about feeling, and she went and she's approved that I can talk about these kind of things. She channeled 2 books this last 6 months. I highly recommend. I'll put those down below too. Never, Not Alone, and Scream for Me. And it's about feeling, and it's about being numb. And I feel like so many people walking around numb and not feeling life and not being in the flow of life, not feeling magic. And for me, like, you guys, if you feel my energy right now, I've just been so in the magic, focusing on things that are not pulling me into negative energies, like TV and like gossip and like drama and like fear mongering. Okay, we've got little notes here. Let's see what's here. Yes, I've done a parasite cleanse. I've done a few of them. Jaziel, if you follow her, Jaziel Created a Heal. She has a whole list in her link tree of so many different ones. I can't say that I use a specific parasite cleanse. I use Fenben on the regular. I have used ivermectin. I had weird eyesight side effects, and so I stopped that, and I haven't revisited. I juice every day, and I juice high doses of parsley and a cilantro, which are good for heavy metals. And I also do a lot of cayenne, pumpkin seeds, which are good for parasites. I eat a pretty clean diet, so I'm not eating a lot of things that parasites are in, but I've spent a lot of time in nature. So I think that they're very, very, very important. And going back to the feeling, what Rebecca was just saying, numb and not living. I feel like when you look around our world, that's pretty common right now, is people are numb, isolating, not wanting to talk to people, just in this kind of space. And, these books that she's written about, like going from being a non-feeling human to like wanting to be restored as a human, but you have to go through all this pain. And people are like, well, why would you want to do it? But it's like, if you don't have pain, you don't have pleasure. You have to have these two sides. And so whatever it is that we're feeling, I feel like we have to feel it all. So one of, the things that I focus so much on my healing is feeling. And it's like, you got to feel it to heal it. And stuffing down, oh, I don't want to talk about that anymore, or that's too stressful, or I don't want to, when I got diagnosed and, I was telling my family, we need to talk about healing and we need to, get counseling. And they're like, we do not have to talk about the past. We're just moving forward. And I was like, I actually do need to talk about the past. And talking about the past has been a major part of healing, So the name of these books, so her name is Rubea Schatz, and I will put it down below. And it's in my Amazon storefront link tree. So if you go to my link tree, you'll be able to find both of her books there. The first one, she's got three. One's Nahili's Sacrifice, but the two she wrote after her true awakening, Not Alone, and Scream for Me. And Scream for Me, I'm not even going to joke. Like when she talked that she was going to write this like safe BDSM light, but about emotions, I was like, are you sure? Like, but it's so crazy. I'm reading it right now. And I love that it has this spicy edge to it, but it is so, the intensity that I feel is about people talking about their emotions and asking for what they need, expressing desires out loud. Desires like, I want to be held, or I want you to look in my eyes. And I'm like, that's edgy. And it's, this book, this author, Rebecca, like, that's not what she was writing about. Like, that's not and she just opened herself up over 2 years of healing. And oh my gosh, my dear friend River Rock just brought these. This is Not Alone. I mean, I can't even tell you, crying. And this feeling of people not wanting to be alone while they're going through hard things. And this woman that helps people feel again, she's like, you won't be alone. And sometimes that's all we need. And then hope, right, Rebecca? And then this one, saucy, you guys. I'm telling you, every woman and man I feel will learn so much. And it is a little edgy, but it's not nearly like you would think it would be. But it's called A Safe BDSM Romance for Sensitive Readers. And I'm this far into, I've read this much. I only have that much left, and I don't want it to be over. But I feel the intensity of expressing how we feel and what we want. Who does that? Who says, like, I just want to feel loved. I want to feel like I belong somewhere. I want to feel, confident. And so, yeah, I think evolving to a place of being able to be vulnerable and speak our truth, and whether that's with our partner, whether that's with our doctor, whether that's with our parents, I think that these are levels of healing that we don't talk about. And then my sister just sent me, while we're talking about books, my sister just sent me this. I made a video about it yesterday. I Choose Me. And these are both like about our desires, choosing ourselves, putting ourselves first. And I'm like, very different though. Jenny Garth from the 90210 days, if you guys remember, back in the 90s, we had a whole summer where we had to figure out who she was going to choose, Brandon or Dylan, these two bad boys, her boys. And then she said, I choose me. And my sister and I have joked about this for years. And we're just like, I choose me. But now I'm like, no, like I choose me. So I really encourage people to dive into what do you need for yourself and across the board, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And yeah, it is very important, Rebecca, and I'm very happy to help. So I do coach people, and you do remember the 90210? I choose me, Maureen. But I support people. First of all, I make videos for free on all social media platforms, uh, YouTube, gosh, what's that place called? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And then now I'm starting my membership program. I will be launching it next week, where it will be a very intimate space where I'll be doing lives on the monthly, but probably more often. I'm putting recipes there. I'm putting interviews with people like Jaziel and different experts in their field. We've got meditations that I'm putting in there. And you'll just have a lot more access to me. So I support people doing coaching, one-on-one work, and we can work through so many things. And I'm not traditional. I'm very outside the box. And so if you're looking for something different, shake things up. And then I also have people come to my home and we do weekends with Willow. I can custom create a healing, expansive experience for you. But I love just to stay in touch, So for all of you who are new here, thank you for tuning in. And I can take any last questions, but I think we can wrap it up. We've covered a lot here for sure. But I appreciate all of you coming in here. And it's funny, when I first started all of this, I was like, yeah, all out of the box right now. It's like, yeah, the more out of the box for me, the better, to be honest. And when you start living outside the box, I think you start seeing what the box actually does. It's like the box is not a good place. But thank you, Maureen, and those of you who are still here. I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend. And yeah, just follow along for the updates. I can definitely, I think I can edit this and put some links down below. If not, just send me a DM and I can share any information that you want. But I love you all and thank you for being here. And we'll see you on the flip side. Okay.